Hello, Pastor Mike here. I'm sure by now you've heard of our governor's plan to slowly return us to some of those things that we've not been able to do because of the coronavirus stay-at-home order. Part of his plan includes returning to gatherings in our churches. However, United Methodist churches in Indiana were waiting on more specific directions from our Bishop, Julius Trimble. This past Monday night, Bishop responded and said to plan in-person worship no sooner than June 14th. And even then, we're to consider gathering plans that are more conservative than our Indiana state's plans. We are being asked to observe measures and procedures to ensure the safety of all of our worshipers, especially those who are 65 years old and older, are more vulnerable, or have health concerns. I've been meeting with our trustees already and will continue to do so to begin to devise a plan for what our worship services might look like. But before I say more about that, let me say this. We will commit to continue having our worship services online even as we begin gathering in church, at least for a while. So right up front, I want to encourage you to use that option if you feel it best for you and your loved ones to stay home. And if you do choose to come to in-person worship, whenever that may be, I'm telling you right now that gatherings will surely be different. We will be observing social distancing, which is to say sitting 6 feet apart. Families that live together, of course, will be able to sit together, but they will be spaced 6 feet away from others. There will be less seating available overall to allow the room for social distancing. We may do things such as have you line up as you come into the church 6 feet apart and be seated by an usher and dismissed by an usher. There will be no handshakes or hugs. And if and when we get to Holy Communion again, that will surely be different. There won't be a common bread and cup for a while, and there will be no fellowship meals for a while either. Services may need to be shortened a bit to allow time to enter and exit safely. And there will be likely no children's church either. We're going to have to keep our young people safe. No passing of the offering plate. We'll have to leave out receptacles for you to drop your offering in as you come or go. And we'll have to recruit a team to stay after service and help us wipe down and disinfect the church after each service. And there may be some more things that we have to implement as we determine the need. But I just wanted to give you a heads up about these things. And we'll do our best to publicize what procedures we're going to implement before you come to worship. But in the meantime, I'm going to ask you to extend grace during this difficult time. I know we don't all think and feel the same way about this coronavirus pandemic and what to do about it. But as your pastor, I want to ask you to do as Jesus would have us to do, to love one another as ourselves, which is to say, think about others and their health and safety before your own. Remember, what we're doing here is to protect one another and keep each other safe and healthy. Also remember the 3 simple rules of John Wesley, which are do no harm, do good, and stay in love with God. The first one is the one that we're focusing on in this. Do no harm. And as I ask you to extend grace to me and our trustees and leadership teams in our churches, I ask you to extend that grace to one another, even if you're frustrated by what we must do for the time being. Remember to exhibit the fruits of the Spirit as presented in Galatians 5, verses 22 and 23. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Thanks for listening, and for the time being, I'll see you online. God bless you and yours.